As well as memos, there's some other business documents we need to consider, so we'll just do them all at once. And these are just some of the documents that we might get in real business, but we've got order forms, shipping and order confirmations, and delivery dockets. So it seems like a lot, but it's actually pretty simple. But before we get to that, our questions so far have assumed that business is pretty easy. Here's our business, here's our suppliers. We just contact them and go, I'd like to buy 100 units for $5, please. They say, no problem. That's $500 plus GST. You've got 30 days to pay. Then a customer comes in and just says to us, I'll buy 20 units, please. We go, no problem. It's $10 each plus GST, and you've got 14 days to pay. However, it's not always that simple. And so this is actually what might happen behind the scenes. So next time you go into a shop and buy something, you just see the goods there. But just remember, before that happened, there could have been a lot of sort of back and forth. So let's just have a look at an example. Let's take a supplier and our business. We'll give them names for the sake of the example. We'll say the supplier is called Crochet Yarn Wholesalers, and our business is Vanderlei Crochet Supplies. So we're a shop that sells crochet supplies, and we buy them from this wholesaler. So we might contact them and say, have you got 100 units in stock? And the first thing is they might actually say, no, we've only got 3. Would you like us to order some? And we say, yeah, no problem. Here's our order number 189. Now you might see this is called a purchase order or just an order, but this is from our business. You can actually see our name at the top here. We are making the order to Crochet Yarn Wholesalers. We've got an order number there. We can see we've ordered blue yarn 4-ply, 30 units, green yarn 8-ply, 70 units. But what you won't see on that document, it just says, please supply the following. You won't see an amount, you won't see any GST, any ABNs, there's no tax invoice written on there. So there's actually no legally binding transaction here. There's just our business is contacting the supplier and saying, could we order these, please? And in this case, the supplier has said, done. Great. Let me know when you have them, and then the amount. So yeah, we didn't ask that on the order form. We just said, have you got it? And can you get it? But now the supplier might say, yeah, here's an order confirmation. So hi, they're in. They will be $5 each. Our order confirmation number is 91. So now we can see the Crochet Yarn Wholesaler, the supplier. Their name's at the top. The name of our business is here. Got an order confirmation number, and now we can start to see there's an ABN there. And it says confirming your order. Blue yarn, and now we've got the 30 and green yarn 70, but now we can see amounts. So this is now a proposed transaction. Crochet Yarn Wholesalers is saying, if we do sell this, this is what it would cost. And now it's saying, please confirm your order of these units by email, your reference. So when we made the order for Vanderlei, we actually put in order 189, so they've just got that there so we can match that up with our records. But actually you can see there's amount and GST are there, but it actually says please confirm. Nothing's confirmed yet. It's just like a proposal. So there's still no legally binding transaction here. Then our business says, awesome, ship them please. When and how do I pay you? And the supplier says, I will send an invoice with the shipment. The shipment number is A43, and they've given us another document. So we can see the supplier at the top, our business here, and this is a shipping confirmation. So if you've ever bought anything on Amazon or maybe even eBay, you might get this. And it's actually, like you can see here, a tracking number. You can put that into the internet, and it will tell you where your product is, and when it's going to be delivered, and maybe even who's delivering it. And we've also got a date now, so we can actually see that something's happened and it's been triggered at their end, and they've actually shipped it from Crochet Yarn Wholesalers to us. Here's our address. It says email. We sent you an email here to confirm. And then there's an attention to someone at our business that says when it arrives, this is for Newman to unpack and make sure that the goods are put into inventory. Then what happens? Well, we say we finally get the goods, and we say we've received the stock and we got the invoice, but we also got this delivery docket. What's that about? Well, again, it's from the supplier, and it says this is a list of each item you bought plus the quantities. So it's called a delivery docket, and it's got a number, and it's got the name of the supplier at the top. It's got the name of our business here. And when we go some more detail, I actually got like item numbers. You might see the term SKU, stock keeping unit, in the real world. So yeah, look out for that. But it just says, here's what you bought. Here's the stock number. Here's how many you ordered. Here's how many we shipped. And then it says additional info. See the invoice for the actual amounts, the credit terms, and returns policy. So we kind of got a lot of detail here, but we're missing amounts, how long to pay, and so on. So we say, look, no worries. I have the invoice though. So why do I even need this docket? And the point of this delivery docket is that there's no amount, there's no GST, there's no legally binding transaction, but the point of it is it's so you can check the delivery and make sure it's all there and matches the invoice. So there will be an invoice that presumably says we are charging you for 100 units. So we want to make sure that we actually got 100 units. So we check it off each item one by one. And in big retail stores, the item list could be like 3 pages long. It's someone's job to actually go through and say, yes, we got every single item in every single size in the exact quantity that we ordered. And lastly, we probably go, yeah, look, it's all here. I'm now going to enter the invoice in our records. And now we have a transaction, finally, because we know that when we get an invoice, there's a transaction. And it says, the supplier says, excellent, now you've got the invoice, now there's a transaction, and now you've got 30 days to pay from the invoice date. So a lot happened there. So let's just try and summarize it. What was the point of those documents? If none of them were legally binding transactions, okay, with the order form, no impact and not recorded in our financial records. Okay, so what was it then? Well, the reason why it's not recorded is the order may not even have an amount, just a quantity, and it may never even eventuate, is maybe the inventory isn't available, or maybe the customer, which in our case is our business, changes their mind. So what's the point of it then? Well, we should use it to make sure we're aware of our proposed purchases of inventory from suppliers. So we've ordered stuff, we should keep track of that, and we'll have to do that with the order form. But it also goes the other way because customers might order from us. So we should keep track of our order forms from customers to make sure we've got the proposed sales of inventory that we need. What about those shipping and order confirmations? What was the impact on the financial records? Nothing. There's no impact and not recorded. No legally binding transaction. All they do is they just confirm that an order has been received and may be dispatched. And while it might have an amount as well as a quantity, there's still no legally binding transaction. So what's the point of it then? Well, it's once we get the inventory, we can now sort of the supplier can issue an invoice, which turns this into a legally binding transaction. And then we can confirm the confirmation to the invoice to ensure everything that was ordered and sent is correct. That's just overall, like as in we ordered $1,000 of stuff and we got charged $1,000. However, we had this last document called a delivery document. What was the impact of it? Nothing. No impact on our financial records, not a legally binding transaction. It's just issued by the supplier along with the delivery. And it will be attached to an invoice. So there's actually an invoice now. So what is the point of it? It's just used so the person receiving the inventory can confirm each single item was there and the quantities. And we can match that to our invoice to make sure that, yeah, what we actually are getting charged is what we ordered and every single unit that we asked for has been delivered.